My name is Clayton Banks. I am the CEO of Silicon Harlem. And along with my co-founder, Bruce Lincoln, our whole goal is to transform Harlem into a tech and innovation hub. We set that goal about in 2013-14, and we thought it would take us about 15, 20 years. And it turns out that within 3.5 years, all of the dreams that we were having then have come true. We have co-working spaces in Harlem. When we started, there were none. Some of you from other places might think, wow, we had those 10 years ago. Well, yeah, we just got one in 2016. We have accelerators, we have incubators, we certainly have a robust startup community, and we've been able to see the difference. One of the things that we did in Harlem was we worked with WeWork to put a facility in Harlem. And one of the things, the criteria that we helped shape and insisted upon was to ensure that businesses that were in Upper Manhattan would have access to that facility. And so they allowed us, and together we put a program together to let startups get inside of that WeWork for free for 3 months. A nice little runway and discounted rent for 9 months. So for a year, you had an opportunity to really try to build your startup. That made a difference. In addition, we had made a requirement to the startups. We asked all the startups that came under our program to provide community service throughout the year. So thousands of hours were given to nonprofits, to shelters, to food banks, and our own talent, whether it's helping to develop a website for a small company, or do some graphic work, or help people learn how to code. All that has happened in the last 3-4 years. And one of the great outcomes has been figuring out how to reach out to the world. We really feel like what we are doing here in Harlem can be replicated all over the world, but it's also important to us to find like-minded people with similar values, and we found that literally in Harlem. Not just Harlem, New York. Haarlem, Netherlands. So we're so happy to be connected to that. This is our 3rd year doing Harlem2Harlem. In our first year, we had the exact same format where we had 3 Netherlands companies pitch and 3 New York companies pitch. And the first year, New York won. And once again, we have 3 New York companies pitching tonight and 3 Dutch companies pitching tonight. And it's not like we're trying to be overly competitive and all that. We just want New York to win. So but we're fair about it. We got great judges tonight, but I'm gonna bring up the queen of startups. She is passionate. So we are blessed to have this young lady here, and my partner for the 3rd year now, Valerie. Come on up, please, and say hello to everybody.
Thank you, Clayton. Yes, Haarlem2Harlem. It's beautiful that there are 2 cities in the world with almost the same name. And that's what I was thinking about 3 years ago. Yes, so we're hoping to have a soft landings program in Haarlem, where we can facilitate 3 New York startups to see if Europe can be their gateway from Haarlem. It's near to Amsterdam, but Haarlem is a lot nicer and easygoing. Amsterdam is nice as well, of course. Everybody knows Amsterdam. But Haarlem2Harlem, I hopefully startups here from New York like to start in Haarlem.
And the mayor's office is represented here, aren't we? Come on up and say hello to everybody, please.
Goedenavond allemaal. Hello everybody. My name is Ellen. I work at the mayor's office. Last year, Mayor Jos Wienen from Haarlem was here. 1958 that the Dutchman Peter Stuyvesant founded New Haarlem and New Amsterdam, today known as Harlem and New York. We are delighted to welcome you here, and your Borough President Gale Brewer visited our city this winter, and she loved it. But back to tonight, we're very proud of Valerie and our team who made this event possible, and who, in cooperation with Clayton Banks of Silicon Harlem, set up this speech event for the 3rd time. Good luck to all the startups, and let's do business, and let's connect Haarlem and Haarlem. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Gale Brewer is represented here tonight by her deputy, Matthew Washington. Come on over here, Matthew. This is our Borough Deputy President, second man in charge of Manhattan. Say a few words to our Dutch and New Yorkers here.
I'm excited to be here. Thrilled anytime I get to spend time with Clayton. And whenever there's an event celebrating Haarlem and Haarlem, I'm excited to be a part of it. Manhattan Borough President Gale Brewer has been such a force of nature behind advancing and growing technologies and ideas and components. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of this, thrilled to listen, hear, and figure out how we in government support the ideas, the thinkers, the collaborators, so that we can make our city, our country, our planet a better place. So I'm thrilled to be here, thrilled to be in this space with all of you, and want to be a partner in all of this, and thank Clayton for all the wonderful work that he's doing. He truly is my brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
So the first one is Mats. And he was part of a program in Curacao, all the way from New York. He traveled to Curacao to be part in our program. So I'm proud that he's here to pitch his startup tonight. So give him a big applause, Hugo van Dijk.
Good evening, New York. Thank you for your time and your attention. I hope, yeah, here we go. So, raise your hand if you think that your rent is too high. And we all know, as New Yorkers, we know where that came from. There's somebody ran in politics for that. So how about the price of a new home? How's that? That's pretty expensive too, right? So I'm here to present to you our startup. It's called MODS, and it stands for Modular Housing on Demand System. Our vision is to make home ownership affordable again, because we know that that hasn't gone in the right direction for most people. And we feel that modular home construction is the solution to make it affordable again. Our mission is to design and construct affordable and sustainable new modular homes with our customers worldwide, And who are those customers? It's everybody that wants to live in a new home, and those are starters, seniors, and in the US, a lot of veterans. And then the other customer segment are our partners, which are architects, designers, suppliers, and schools and government, because they also need housing. We've all heard about Lego and IKEA, right? So it's that's a great example of modular, and it's prefabricated. We have standardized sizes. We have some accessories to a certain degree. You can design your own a little bit. And of course, it's easy shipping. And this is exactly what modular housing is about as well. Our construction concept is modular steel beam frames, interior panels and exterior panels, and then it's all prefabricated. This is kind of like what it looks like. We use light gauge steel frames. We know that the construction time is at least 2 times faster, and obviously time is money, so we also know that that's going to make a big difference. It's also stronger, and this is exactly why I looked for this particular construction system, because we need to rebuild in the Caribbean islands after all of those hurricanes. We also know that modular housing can be 30 to 50% cheaper. So what is MODS? Modular Housing on Demand System is going to be a software platform where you can actually design your own home and then buy it online, which last time in Curacao we got a good laugh out of that one. But because it's modular and we're stepping in between the end user and the supply chain partner, MODS will be easily scalable, and we want to be the Amazon of modular housing. So this is our first standard model. Designed by my co-founder Zeno. He couldn't make it. He's holding the fort in Curacao. And so we look at the market potential with 3 different markets with their own specific affordable housing needs. We're going to focus on the Caribbean because we feel that that's really urgent right now to build back better in all of those islands that were hit by hurricanes. Then the USA, we have a serious problem with first-time home buyers, senior housing, social housing, and some veterans. And of course, in the city here, we also have a homeless problem. In Europe, there are a lot more companies that are doing this already, so we can support that, but that'll be my last focus. This is what a multi-unit system can look like, and that can be social housing. It can also be a hotel concept. The business model is based on a percentage of the revenue of the final product. We are going to have preferred partners in each region or location. They will pay an annual fee, and then everybody that's not preferred will actually end up paying a per-use fee. So that's how we're going to make some money. I'm Hugo, I'm the founder, and I'm a realtor in New York City. Zeno is an architect and designer and the co-founder. We have a friend of mine, accountability partner. We have a mentor. We also started an advisory board with combined more than 50 years of experience in technology and in construction. We got lucky with a super good construction company from Curacao that's going to support us. And then in August in Amsterdam, FAB is going to start manufacturing the steel frame. We need $300,000, so open your wallet. We're going to build the platform. We do standardized models, 5 more. Then we will build 2 models, 1 2-bedroom and 1 3-bedroom. But we need all of you, investors, fans, connectors, beta testers, to make home ownership affordable again.
We're going to try to stay on time, so we're going to ask the judges if you have any questions. We'll take 2 or 3 questions. Audience, just hold your questions for later, but judges, do you have any questions for Hugo?
Starting price is going to be specific to the region, but according to New York City, affordable housing projects that have already been realized are around $200 a square foot construction cost, and I know that we can definitely make that or better. Yeah, so in August we'll start manufacturing in Duivendrecht, next to Amsterdam. But when the market in USA will take off, we're looking to put a factory here, and we're looking to have job growth and all of the economic opportunities that go with it.
So you'd have to ship over?
For now, we're going to ship it, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Give them a hand. Give them a hand, everyone. What's next?
To the audience, maybe they have questions.
Let's get another one going. But before we do anything, get happy, Ellen. So we have our first New York company stepping up. Wow, Yofiap. How do you pronounce that? Yofiap. All right. So this is sort of in that fintech space, but we have Brian Uribe. Uribe is here to present his startup.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Brian Uribe. I'm the founder and general manager of Yofi, where we believe your finances should be on your terms. So I tried to design the presentation to fall in line with the questions that I'm expecting you guys to have running through your mind when you hear the word Yofi. So let's just go down them. What is Yofi? what's the problem we're solving? How are we going to fix it? Who are we fixing it for? How can Yofi help everyone? What have we accomplished so far? And then how you can help. So what is Yofi? Yofi is an application that's going to help people automate their debt elimination, track and forecast expenses, maximize rewards, and manage all financial products and services. So our mission is to make financial stability accessible, and there's currently no application that could do all of these things on one platform. So what's the problem we're solving? Americans currently owe over $15 trillion in debt. Now that scares me, right? This is due to most people not having, having little to no financial knowledge and having access to ineffective tools for managing debt and personal finance. So the reality is this is just going to get worse. So how are we going to fix it? So we've designed a proprietary formula that calculates the most effective way for people to eliminate their credit card debt. I've given it to a number of my family and friends, and they've given it to some of their friends, and it works effectively. So we're using this formula and integrating into the application to automate debt elimination, right? And at launch, we're going to have access to data from over 15,000 banks, including all the necessary information we're going to need to eliminate credit card debt and other kinds of debt. Access to transaction history, so now we can see how you're spending your money and forecasting the future. Access to the rewards programs that people typically have access to through their banks that they may not be aware of, and also have in one centralized location all the offers that the financial institutions are offering you that may help you get out of debt faster. So who are we fixing it for? So 185.2 million Americans have credit cards, right? So the estimated total addressable market is $17 billion annual recurring revenue. Our 5-year revenue target is $3.5 billion at 20% market share. And we're going with a subscription model of $96 average revenue per user per year, right? So we're going to launch with a freemium model, really with the goal of getting people on the subscription model to provide them with a lot more insight and more detailed responses on how they should be managing their debt and their financial picture. So how can Yofi help everyone, right? Because finances are not a one-size-fits-all. But most people's goals are one of four. They either want to reduce their credit card debt, they want to minimize their interest payments, manage their spending habits, and maximize their rewards programs, right? So a lot of people really don't understand what exactly these points can buy, what they can do. Some people are interested in cashback, some people are interested in gadgets, some people just want to travel. We're going to have all the information to actually be able to propose the best way for you to use these. Now, what have we accomplished? We've completed our product spec. We have a working prototype of our formula. We've completed mock-ups and website design, so make sure to check us out at www.yofiapp.com. And we've also completed our business planning, revenue modeling, and market strategizing. Now, how can you help? We're looking to raise $50,000 to fund app development. We're looking for a partner that's going to provide us with mentorship throughout the launch and development process, because that's the critical part of any startup. And then we also want an investor or partner that's going to provide access to key people in their network that could help enable our goal. I'd like to thank you all and open it up to questions.
Next one, Meester from Haarlem. With Tim from Papendam. Here is the clicker. He was a winner last year in the Netherlands. So give him a big hand and then you can start.
Hello. Who in this audience ever did an online training before? It was probably quite boring, wasn't it? So let me summarize online training. Online trading is boring. It's expensive, and it's time-consuming. And I don't know why, because yearly we spend $31 billion every year globally on e-learning, and that amount grows about 11% year on year. And why can't we make not boring trainings? That's something I ask myself. So I'm Tim, the CEO of Meester, and we have a platform that can fix this problem. How do we do that? With our platform, you can easily create a training, and we add social and gamified components. So yeah, the training will instantly become fun. That leads to better performance, of your team and also cost reduction. So that's a win-win. So while creating a training, we provide real-time feedback on how your text looks like. If you're using too much difficult words, we provide that feedback, or we ask you to add some images to make it more engaging. We designed a standardized design frame, so every training looks perfect on mobile, tablet, or a desktop. So you don't have to think about that. We just do that for you. And we have some behavioral recognition. So if we think that some user will stop doing the training, we will provide some cheer up moment or like a shoulder clap, so that they will continue do the training. So we work for a lot of nice customers like Samsung, DSM, and yeah, there are already 50,000 users in our platform doing the trainings. We have 120K of annual recurring revenue, and last year we did 250,000 of total revenue. And we all did it with this awesome team. But now we're looking for 500,000 euros to expand for the next 2 years to grow to at least 200 million of annual recurring revenue. We're going to set up a partner program to really be able to scale exponentially, because the sales strategy it takes long for one customer. So if we have partners, then we can grow exponentially. We will focus on first target markets where e-learning is very important, like healthcare. And of course, we have to grow the team. We need some more awesome people to add to the team. So if you think you can help us to go to the next phase, let's talk.
All right, judges. Here we go. Here is our second New York startup. Anybody from New York here? No, clap if you're from New York. Come on. Yeah. So, wow, what a joy to talk about kids and to talk about kids and STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So we have the phenomenal founder here who's about to tell us about STEM kids. Give Yvonne a great big hand. Thanks, Yvonne, for coming out.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
So my name is Yvonne Tavenot. I'm the founder of STEM Kids NYC. I'm also a Columbia University Zankel Fellow. Basically, I wanted to kind of just take a quick look back. Where STEM Kids NYC and we're going is we're taking a really good look at looking to collaborate with other entities to see how they are stemming the gap, if you will. So just recently, I was at the United Nations at a convening and had the pleasure of working and just collaborating with those in the academic world, those who were in private sectors, and those who were in organizations like mine in terms of really trading notes on what we were doing. And what I got present to in the room was simply that when my father introduced me to science when I was 6, bought me my first microscope and slides that were read or written in Latin, I really got present to the fact that he really put me onto a good foundation. And then when I was in 7th grade, he introduced me to computer science. So at age 11, I created my first basic game. And what I'm actually present to today, and as I've been in this field of STEM education, both as a computer programmer myself, and now as an educator, I see more than ever the need to actually really work with schools and other entities to ensure that students who come from both underrepresented backgrounds and just any background has that foundation in order to succeed in these STEM fields. So there's a lot of people that we talk about the gap. I'm doing research around the development of STEM curriculum that's based in culturally relevant pedagogy at Columbia, and everybody has different theories. So the theories that are out there is there's just no identity that the student has when they go into higher education. They may not have the foundation. They may not see themselves in it. It may just be too hard, and on and on. I started STEM Kids NYC in 2015 really to address some issues around that theory and actually to be on the ground and providing a daily focus with children initially as young as 6 to help them with building that foundation. So we teach kids how to code. We also introduce them to engineering and design. We also engage them in experiential labs, so learn by doing science labs so they can learn to love science and really engage in a natural basis along this scientific method. We also introduce them to virtual reality creation. So there is a software that I use that's out there that allows children to plan for their experiences and build their own VR experiences. We introduce them to robotics, stop motion animation, and literally everything under the sun related to STEM activities. And so our mission basically is to bridge the gap between the current school curriculum and the immediate need for schools to prepare students for STEM opportunities and for jobs that do not yet exist. So we all know, and just to get, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide, but, STEM jobs are growing at a rapid pace. And there's still this gap, if you will. Less than 10% of US schools have computer science curriculum. And what's happening is that most of those schools are in high school. So STEM Kids NYC really spends a lot of time on the elementary and middle school level to really build that layer so that those students who enter into high school and higher education have a good, solid foundation for them to succeed. Just last fall, I decided to be a scientist myself and just said, what if we were to have a STEM pre-K? What would that look like in the room? And so STEM Kids NYC now has STEM pre-K. So at JCC Harlem, which is our host, we provide science and engineering concepts that tap into the curious learner's natural curiosity and really engage with students as young as 2. So we have a number of programs. We are an after-school programs. We also provide in-school programs. There's 2 schools in particular this school year that we were actually during the day in the school. One school in Brooklyn, actually, the principal said, you can have all of my 3rd graders, all 103 of them. So from 8 to 11:56, we taught code school. So we engaged the students in making their own little fun apps using JavaScript and teaching them the kind of just like you do reading comprehension, really understanding the commands, having them be able to play back what it means based upon experiencing it in their app. And I'm very pleased to say that we had one of our periods was for special education, or those students who were labeled special ed. And I could not tell most of the students in that class what the difference was with the other students. So these are in-school programs. We have programs both in the New York City area and also in New Jersey. So I'm pleased to say that we are expanding. We also have Saturday programs. So the Saturday Tech Fest have a different theme, whether it's Robot Fest or Code School or STEMapalooza, where students come in. June rounded out STEMapalooza, where we had a culmination period. Students had been with us throughout the year or in our programs, actually led demos so that they were actually teaching their peers and even adults. We also have a STEM summer program. This year it's going to be at the New York Institute of Technology. It's a 5-week program, 8 to 5, to support working families. And it really gives us an opportunity to spend time with students, but they also all get visual arts and they get an hour and a half of play in terms of lunch and recess. And then we take them to field trips on Friday. We also have plunged into teacher development. There are some schools that we found that they just didn't have the budget, particularly in daycare, and they've brought me in actually to do teacher development so that I can show general ed teachers how to incorporate science and engineering and some computational thinking into their general ed classes. What I found is that really, and all what I'm sharing with you are additional revenue plays, just so that you can get that this is not free. All of these are charges to the actual client and client acquisition. We also, in February, just recently launched a coding boot camp, and that is specifically to address the 18 to 24-year-olds who might be underserved, underskilled, underemployed, particularly in the Harlem area. And the whole posit behind that was to say, what if we were to give people a chance and eliminate any barriers? So the program is free. They do not require a laptop. I eliminated the testing. I just wanted to eliminate any obstacles that normally would be in their way and provide similar classes that a regular boot camp does. In addition to that, my teachers and I are working on a learning management system that also serves as an affiliate or advocate so that the students who are not in our classes can have a learning management system to tap into with videotaped instruction and other content that they can use when they're not with us. So at a glance, we have had 175 students enrolled in our programs. We have 37 volunteers. We get those volunteers mostly through volunteer match on an individual basis, but once a month, corporate tech startups dial into me and actually ask, we'd like to bring 15 to 20 people to actually have a give back, whether it's on the Saturday or during our after school program. Our results, these are here. I'm going to go to quickly to, we've been in the news, The Give Show, Today's Show, AM New York, and my hometown. I started a STEM Kids Champion City in my hometown in Springfield, Ohio. This is our board. Okay, so one thing I wanted to share with you is this. So I put some revenue slides, so I forgot. So since we started in 2015, the revenue in 2016 was over 115% increase. And then for 2016, our increase in revenue compared to 2017 was 23%. Year to date for 2018, we've surpassed 2017, and we have not even finished the year. I'm very, very pleased with that. And some of the revenue hasn't even been placed on the books. So some of our clients are D.E. Shaw, just got a contract. It's a data science and information technology company. They're going to be using us to do STEM for their employees this summer. I just got an email while I was in here that the Teaching Channel has expressed a letter of intent. They're going to bring in STEM Kids NYC to provide podcasts, because one thing they said that they didn't have was culturally relevant STEM. So they're going to actually hire STEM Kids NYC to provide those services. We have a number of different clients in schools, private schools, charter schools, and public schools, and we're just very pleased. We need about $300,000 to actually have a space here in Harlem that includes security and rent, shy of 1,000 square feet, and that will also pay for 2 people to actually run the space, and plus expanding into 4 schools.
Great. We've got to move on, but do you feel her passion? Do you feel her passion?
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks for being
very
here.
much.
So look, we're halfway. We only have 2 startups left.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 1 Dutch startup and 1 American startup. Yes. So, we're gonna get to the next one, but I feel like I have to say something. Do I have to say anything? Everybody good? Here's my question. If you have a startup, stand up right now. If you have a startup, stand up right now. You see what this looks like? That's awesome. That is awesome. That's what we're talking about. Now sit down, come on. But I like to acknowledge that because you're seeing these great presentations. What you don't see is what has gone on behind them. How much this is difficult. How difficult this is, going without, sacrificing, hoping people still like you. There's all this work that goes behind it. It's not easy. And it's not for everyone, frankly. So when someone has worked so hard to come up here and present their startup, I know what they have had to go through to get to this point. And that's still pre-money in most of the cases. So this is hard. So when you stand up, you should stand up proud, because I can relate. I've had 4 startups. 2 of them failed miserably. And it hurts, but it gives you that mettle to keep going. So we're going to move on to our next startup, and it is a Dutch company.
Yes.
Yes.
Sabine, come on over. Sabina is from Curaçao, but she's Dutch.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, good evening, everybody. I'd like to start off with a question. How much is a clean, healthy ocean worth to you? If I would be to answer that question, I would say it's priceless. But the sad fact is that conservation efforts are failing miserably because our oceans are filling up with plastics and toxins. And if we don't change anything fast, our ocean will have more plastic than fish by the time 2050 comes. So my name is Sabine Berendsen, and I'm a social entrepreneur, and I'm the founder of Sea Turtle Conservation Curaçao. I have the pleasure, and I'm very grateful to work in a fantastic team. I have 2 staff members, 30 core volunteers, and I have local, regional, and international partners. We are located in Curaçao, that's in the Caribbean, and we work with conservation, research, and education. We are active from 2014 onwards, and we actually reached quite some goals. We saved over thousands of turtles. We cleaned a lot of beaches that were filled with marine debris. We produced a video clip or music video. We made an online book. We had a sea turtle exposition. We organized turtle experiences. We have a social media following of 30,000 plus. And all in all, we reached more than 150,000 people with our activities to create awareness. One of the things that we do is we take plastic from the beaches and we create nice designer items from them. We started in August and we sold 1,600 items already with a value of $22,000. So that might not seem much, but it's only sea turtle items so far, and we are developing other types of stuff right now. So I'll come to that later. We are offering turtle experiences, so that could be one day, it could be a week, but I can guarantee you that if you come with me on a mission, you'll have a life-changing experience, and it will really impact the rest of your life. I'm here to look for partnerships. The things we're doing with the plastic is pretty unique, and we're making lots of different stuff. So we're currently expanding our product range, other keychains, but also furniture and other household articles. And hotels are interested in our product, and they're actually locally trying to put that into their rooms, because now the Marriott is going to place 500 lamps in each of their rooms. I'm here because I'm looking for funding. The plastic, let's go back. The plastic items we're going to do in a social enterprise. And I'm looking for partners that are willing to help me expand our international sales opportunities, because well, we're focusing on Curaçao now, but Curaçao is cleaning up pretty nicely. But there is really a lot of work to be done worldwide. Well, to do that, we can actually make a change, because in Curaçao it works, and it's going to be first the Caribbean region, because we're in the White Coast Network, and then we can actually make a global impact. We would need $500,000 per year to make a global impact, and we're looking for people that, like me, think that a clean ocean is priceless, and we really need to do something about plastic pollution. So I'm asking you here tonight, if you agree with me and you feel like we need to do something about plastic pollution, please help us out, and let's do something together about this global issue, and make a change and impact on a global level. Thank you very much.
Well, I am down for clean oceans, definitely. Okay. Down to our last startup. Thank you guys all for being patient. But we do have one more. You know what? We've got one of our stars here, Betty Ng, who has Inspiring Diversity and wrote this tremendous book with her mom called Polling Power. Stand up, Betty. Let everybody see you. She's here. One of our great members, Shirley, is here. Shirley, wave your hands so everybody knows where you are. There she is. And even one of our great supporters, Calvin Norman, Princeton guy. He's back there in the back. Wave your hand, Calvin. And if you ever want to do business in Africa, you want to deal with this super New Yorker, Harlem guy, the great Sparky. Sparky, wave your hand over there. He's the man. There's a young lady here named Susan Banks. Wave your hand. And just walking in is the great Cheryl. She's a movie maker. She did the great movie Chapter and Verse. Cheryl Hill, definitely go check out that movie. Is it still on Netflix? On iTunes? And it's a serious movie. And it all was shot in Harlem, 100%. So we're always very excited about her being here. And our last startup. It's almost said, I want to keep going for like a couple more hours. Maybe we can get some more people up here. But Brendan's looking at me, really? Come on. I'm going to ask my guy who pretty much organized all of this tonight in conjunction with Eddie and the rest of the team over at Harlem Valley. Hans Odaga, come on up here, Hans. So Hans was responsible not only for putting all these presentations together, but getting everyone organized, working with the facility here.
Okay, hi everyone. I am Hans Odaga, Digital Coordinator for Silicon Harlem. Our last startup. I see many tears, many emotional people. I know we still have a lot more coming towards your way. There'll be networking afterwards. There might be a video. There's a couple of announcements we'll have towards the end while the judges are making their decision. So, without further ado, I'd love to welcome Nomad to the stage.
Just this one here. To the right. All right, got you. Oh, this one? Oh, that one. How you guys doing? My name is Sean Roeder. I am a dual licensed barber stylist and the co-founder of Nomad. I want to first start out, these individuals here, these investors, and you guys as well. Fundamental change is what they invest in and what you love and what changes every single industry. What does that look like? 140 character microblogs, Twitter. Getting in the car with a stranger and going somewhere, Uber. Exactly. Staying at a stranger's house while you were, coming from that, stranger's car, Airbnb. And so with that, we have Nomad. Nomad is, kind of got converted. Nomad is tools, and we design tools and tech distinctly for beauty on demand. And coincidentally, the N stands for nails, hair, makeup on demand. That's what the OD's for. That happened by happen chance. It's just kind of one of those things. The A stands for ambulant, which is going from place to place. So it all kind of worked out. What's the problem? Service costs are dictated by shops and salons. Every single person. Being a cosmetologist and a barber, coloring hair and everything like that, that stuff is incredibly expensive, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women in here who can attest to that. Nails and all of that stuff. It is a very expensive thing that is dictated by the shop owners and or booth rent fees. Scheduling conflicts, we all know tons of startups in here. Everyone has a scheduling conflict with your chosen beauty professional. There's no easy way for on-demand service to scale. And so I had to design something that made it possible. I was one of 450,000 individuals that make below minimum wage. My booth rent was $800 a month, and that's $9,600 a year. There's also a friend of mine who her booth rent was $21,800 a month. And this is on top of paying rent and everything like that. So it is a very, very economically centric industry, if you will. All right, what's the solution? A compact, lightweight chair and case that you can take with you, put on a bike, pack with you, or anything like that. And so we designed that here with Zon right across the way in Harlem. And the next thing, a digital platform that is incredibly simplistic and reminiscent of hailing a ride share, if you will. I don't want to say think Uber, but just think about it. You ping a barber, stylist, or makeup artist, they come to you, perform the service in an incredibly flawless manner, and then they pack up like they were never there. Saves you time, saves everyone money, and you creatively intersect with people you have never met. And these are people that you find in your immediate locale. Market validation. I was one of those guys that made below minimum wage in an industry globally worth $217 billion and nationally worth $46 billion. Right now, there's 280,000 pros acting in the on-demand capacity. There's about 21 apps that have been created since 2012 that have access to, and a network of 1,000 professionals across the nation. But the key thing is they can't really scale because they're only located in densely populated urban areas. Market size. Obviously, 1 million pros professionally exists right now, not including the ones who've let their license lapse because of the fact that it's just not something that's economically possible. Once again, there's about 280,000 freelance pros, and the market that we're going after, the attainable market, is just 10% of that. So we want to go after just 28,000 and see where it goes from there. So competitive landscape. So there's 21, there was 5 here. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties, but these guys are currently in the market right now. They dictate the pricing for on-demand beauty services. But once again, I worked for GoPriv, and it is incredibly cumbersome and logistically just a nightmare. Your clippers, you're taking your clippers, shears, and things like that. Sometimes shears can cost $400, $500 each. You drop them, crack them, and now you're trying to do a bob or some sort of a haircut and deliver on this beauty service, and you can't do it. And that's the big thing that you have. And so they're all expensive, they're available, but they aren't accessible all across hitting the critical mass, which is going to be your Midwest, your Arizonas, your Northwest, things like that. They're only in, once again, these densely urban areas, which is going to be New York, Philadelphia. They're in Miami and LA. They're not in the San Antonios. They're not in the El Pasos, where there are tremendous men and women who spend money on beauty services. So this is what it looks like. So we designed it with Zon. This was something that we took. We had to take about 7 different elements from industries that didn't even make any sense to beauty. We're talking about a fishing chair, a hunting chair. We combined it. All of it is going to be, it's fully equipped with all of the equipment that you need, and it weighs less than 45 pounds. You can attach it to a bike. You can walk around with it on the subway or anything like that. And once again, this is the engine that powers on-demand beauty services. The chair swivels, so you have LED lighting on the chair, the case itself, and all of your tools are securely cut, CNC'd inside a case there. If you want to do a dry hair service or anything like that, makeup service, and/or nail service, you can do all of this stuff. This kit carries everything to make sure you're in and out, and they come to you where you want and when you want. Competitive advantage. We're first to market. No one is doing this. We went to the International Beauty Show. We went to barber trade shows, and people think I'm talking about a van. And then when I show it to them, they immediately can't believe that this was possible, and we made this possible. Pro incentive, booth rent, and split base compensation like 49.51. All that is eliminated. And what you do is you register your kit online, and at that point, you get to immediately find your beauty professional right in your locale. Easy to use. So we want to make sure that any kind of digital platform that we do place online is going to be reminiscent of hailing a ride share. We want to make sure that that user experience is very familiar to all of you guys. And once again, Nomad is not a brand, but we're a brand of professional, and we're the preferred brand of on-demand beauty professionals. Think K-Cup pods is to the whole pod coffee industry. That's what we are to on-demand. We make sure that they have what they need to perform a service flawlessly, sans a shop or salon. All right, so the business model. Taking our available market at $84 million, $3,000 for a kit. Now, we tested that price. Initially, it was $2,000. We got a lot of pushback. They were like, that's too cheap. And so we looked at that again. We kept testing it. Once again, going back to booth rent, $21,800 annually, and that's $1,800 a month that someone pays here in Harlem. A woman who pays that here in Harlem on a monthly basis to include charging you for a service, and she has to pay that out in a fee. And once again, what the number that we got the $252 million is at selling 16,800 kits a year. And so this is a number that we felt that was aggressive, but at the same time, it's going to make us find a solution and also produce things at in a way that is cost effective, but also our margins are better. And we would definitely have to go to obviously source this overseas. Market adaptation. So obviously we want to become the generic and the preferred brand to any beauty professional, any on-demand beauty app that starts. Collaborative partnerships. These lead to scaling opportunities. Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, film industries at large, HCT Cosmetics, which is the company
You
that
have
makes
30 seconds.
everything for MAC and Sephora, and obviously barber and cosmetology schools. We would supply them as well. This is our team, my wife, who has been a great help to this. And these are just testimonials from industry experts. Marcy Miguel at Paul Mitchell Systems said this was a cannibalizing technology, and they went away from it. At Wall, they said Aaron Flick said that everyone's trying to figure it out. We had the solution, and obviously, you know, the $21,800 a month is booth rent. It's just things that we did. So what we're looking for is a $500,000 convertible note investment to make over 18 months to make 1,400 kits and generate $4.2 million in revenue. Thank you.
Okay, very good. We're gonna cut off there. Stay up here.
Okay.
All the startups come up. All the startups come up that presented. Brian, Yvonne, Jan, Hugo, come on up here, everybody. I want the judges to see these guys one more time before you guys deliberate. We're going to ask you, judges, to just go right outside that door and do your own deliberation amongst yourself to come up with a winner. But before you do that, I'm going to ask each of you, let me give you 10 seconds to think. Each of you, remind the judges of your company name and just give them one line to remember.
Yofi, we're helping the world eliminate credit card debt and achieve financial stability.
Nomad, we build toolkits distinctly designed for on-demand beauty services.
Mods, we do modular housing to make homes affordable again.
Sea Turtle Conservation Curacao, and we offer a solution to the global plastic pollution problem.
Meester, we make learning fun again.
STEM Kids NYC, we build STEM identities, teach kids how to code, engineer, and love science.
Give them all a hand. You take a seat now.
So now we're going to announce the winner.
First, we want to say and thank each team for what we felt were outstanding presentations. We felt that every team addressed the 4 critical aspects that we had in our judging criteria. And just so that everyone will understand what they are, we were looking at innovation, what did the product or service look to solve, and how was it innovative in what it was doing. How well the person did the pitch, how well they connected with the audience. We spent a lot of time watching eye contact. We went a lot of time watching how you reacted, even though our backs were to you, in the Q&A. We also wanted to look at what their team was like, how their team was developed, and what were the thought processes going into their team developing going forward. And last, we looked at scalability. Was this an opportunity, service, or product that was scalable, that could address what they saw as their critical problem? And then lastly, we were challenged to have a tiebreaker category, which was, what was the impact of the product or service? How was it going to change lives? Fortunately, we all sat and had different numbers for each of the different areas, but we had one clear winner or one clear company that we felt superseded the others in how they addressed this. And it was in part because they were taking on a big problem. And that company is Sea Turtles. We felt that they were addressing a problem that all of us are facing in managing and looking at the planet, but they were doing it in a creative way. They had developed a team, they had an outlook, and one of the most interesting and compelling driving forces that we looked at is they've already identified in Marriott a partner that could basically take them throughout the world. If they can nurture that relationship and build that...
Hang on, Eric. This is not Fortnite yet. Turn that stuff off. Keep going.
We felt that if they could nurture that relationship and build that bond with a global giant like Marriott that shared the same vision in addressing the problems that we're seeing in our oceans, that they will be able to have an impact with the funds that they were seeking out to change and solve the problem that they were addressing.
Congratulations.
Now we're going to make pictures, of course, and we had a movie.
So thank you very much, everybody in the jury. I'm really, really speechless because I really didn't expect this, but now I'm very happy that we can show the video that we produced. So maybe now if you watch this, you actually might really feel what I feel.
I'm gonna sit down and watch this.
No more place to make a nest. I'd like to make a wish. Let's give them a future. I mean, a healthy hope. Stop and see no. That's the rules of styrofoam.
Throw it in the trash can, nothing to the sea. This is our home. Can't you even see the earth, the ocean, and the animals? We all need love. No what's the land you see? Can you see? Can you see now? In the sea, in the sea, in the sea. Hey, 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 hey. Can you feel? Can you feel it? Do you feel it in your heart?
Let's help each other to fight this. We can't accept this anymore, no. Let's do something about it.
We can make a change. No stress anymore. No stress anymore. We need you. No stress anymore. No stress anymore. No stress anymore. No stress anymore. Leave the ocean, no stress anymore. No stress anymore. No stress anymore.
Pone mano en la mano, unión y fuerza, háganos vamos unir.
No stress anymore. No stress anymore.